We often get told to transcribe solos by ear, learn them on our instrument and get them down. But we often don't really know what we're doing with it once we've done that. We don't know why we're doing it and we don't know what to do once we've learnt that solo. Well, what I've done is recently transcribed a whole Django Reinhardt chorus over his tune, Django's Tiger. What I'm going to do in this video is show you 3 things that I took from this solo and 3 ways that I used and practiced these ideas to further my jazz improvisation. By the way, if you'd like to download a free copy of my ebook, Introduction to Enclosures for Jazz Violinists, you can do so via the link in the description of this video. First of all, just check me out playing the solo. Okay, so you can probably tell it's a real hard one, and also for me to play the whole thing properly with all the notes in it, I had to put it up an octave or 1 octave more than I would have liked to have. But it was a really good way for me to practice my intonation and practice my my position changing, and it's just really good practice for my technique in general. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to show you 3 things that I took from this solo, how I think about them, and how I can use them in my own improvisation and use them to practice playing better. First of all, please subscribe to this channel, hit the bell notifications, I think I'm pointing at them, and let me know in the comments what you think of this video and how it might have helped you. That stuff really helps me as a content creator. Blah, 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 blah. So, let's talk about it. The first little piece of material that struck me from this solo is what Django does with the E7. So what Django's doing there is he's playing a B minor 6 arpeggio up. Okay, so on the way up that run, he sort of chromatically goes between 2 of the notes and then he jumps up the B minor 6 arpeggio. But on the way down from that line, what he does is he jumps down just in regular B minor triad. And I think that little detail helps make this line sort of stand out and not feel too much like it's just a random run up an arpeggio. It feels a lot more melodic because he has changed it on the way down, in my opinion. So what I did with this was I then just spent a little bit of time just with a long E7 backing track and just practiced playing around with this exact idea. I just messed around improvising, going up the B minor 6 arpeggio and going down B minor triad. Like this. So yeah, as you can see, I'm already improvising and messing around with this material and sort of enjoying playing, trying to find new little movements around and just messing around with that rule that I've sort of picked out of that little moment. So for the second little piece of material I took, we're actually going to jump to right near the end of this chorus, and it's this little line that I heard right at the end of a big long run that sort of lasts like nearly half a chorus. And the line is this. I really like this little line, and it's being played over F sharp 7, which in this instance is the 6 as a dominant, right? So it's that 6 as dominant that's taken us to the 2, the B minor. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to mess around with just improvising over the second half of this chorus, just improvising, and then try and land exactly where Django does on that F sharp 7 and play that exact same lick. A little bit like this. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try and work this out in another key. And to make things simple, just for this tune, I'm going to work out how to play that line over an E7. So taking the line, which is sort of in F sharp 7, and moving it down a tone and playing it exactly like that, but over E7, like this. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to improvise around the whole of the form of this tune, and I'm just going to whack that line, that E7 line in wherever I can, wherever an E7 turns up. Like this. It's a lovely little line, and as you can see, it works in loads of different contexts, rhythmically as well. So I'm really enjoying taking this little piece of material and trying to get it into my playing. This is how I do it. I'll take a line and I will just put it into different keys, and I will try and find places to put it in these new keys. And in this instance, yeah, we're just doing it over Django's Tiger, and we're just looking at E7. But there's loads of different possibilities, maybe for another video. The third and final piece of material I've taken from this solo is the last line in this chorus, which is played this time over an E7. 2, 3, 4. You can look at this little line in a couple of different ways. If I was looking at this in a real jazz college-y way, I would maybe be thinking about this like it came from the melodic minor scale, namely the F melodic minor scale, which then gives us this E altered scale. And what's happening in this line could be described as being from that. What we have is a sharp 9 and a flat 9, which does speak to me a little bit of altered scale harmony. It's also got the flat 13 and flat 7 and the root, and all of these notes could be found in the E altered scale, i.e. the F melodic minor scale. So hey, what am I going to do? I'm going to take this line, I'm going to mess around with it over all the E7 points in this tune, like this. And in a nice and simple way, I'm going to just have a little go at playing this over the A7 as well. And really nicely on the violin, that just switches string. We just go down a string and we use that same fingering, and we can do this. And when we get to an A7 in this tune, I'm going to mess around with playing that like this. Now look, what we've done is we've taken these three ideas and we've messed around with them in different ways over this tune. But what you can do is you can take these ideas and work on them in different keys. You can work on them in all keys if you want to, or you can just start off by working on them in keys that you like to play in, or maybe add in a couple of keys that you need to get better at. And try and find different places and different tunes that you can sort of throw these licks in, and just try your hardest when you're practicing to get these licks into your playing. It can sometimes feel like you're trying to stuff a square peg into a round hole, or whatever that analogy is. But I do guarantee you that that sort of approach will help you understand the material a little bit and start to get the material into your playing. Working on it in different keys really helps you understand the material a lot more. For me to work on something in different keys, I always end up having to think about what each of those notes are in relation to the key I'm in. And that really helps me sort of understand things. Guys, thanks so much for checking this video out. Please like, share and subscribe and do all that stuff. Thanks very much. Goodbye.